Smells good, right? Get into reading, and because I'm going to make some vegan tacos. I might use the rest of the rice, and well, then I'm gonna go ahead and sit down, and everything's pretty much ready. All I got to do is log in, and get the podcast going. I want to wait till about 6 because there's people here. There's people who kind of sleep. They be up all night, or there's people who is gonna be taking care of their children, or probably just want to get down and rest and slumber and everything like that. So we're gonna get it rocking. But I got to make something to eat tonight and tomorrow and the next day, and then after that, back to the fast for 2 days, then 3 days of intermittent fasting, and probably do it one more time, pending. Um, I got to pull out my caliper and measure my what you call it. A lot of y'all know I was much bigger. In the whites, when I wear whites and stuff. It's kind of an illusion, like when I'm with no clothes on, I'm standing in front of the mirror, because like a mirror standing in front, I'm like, dang, I've lost so much. But like I said, I was on the res eating a lot of that fly bread, and that's just made out of flour, fried in vegetable oil, the worst thing in the world. I just told a friend of mine, I says, yo, if you're gonna make it, do your best to do organic, add some flax, blah blah blah, and if you can bake it and get the same taste, and he's like, he was like, hell no. I said, or change up and stop eating it. Because it was actually a comfort food. From what I learned over here, it's not the same as whole cake. No, it's a copy. And a whole cake was not fried. It was baked, sun baked most of the time, but what I grew up on. So I told him how we made that. And I said, if you're going to get baking soda, get aluminium baking soda. And he was like, I never heard of that. I said, dude, go to Safeway and look at the baking soda. Look at non-aluminum baking soda. Dude, they got it. I was like, if nobody says nothing, nobody's going to do different, I mean, he's a good guy. He's Navajo. I like him. He's a good comrade. So let's go ahead and get into the reading. And who came in so far? I appreciate everybody that comes in. Hey, Evelyn, what's going on? I don't see, I guess everybody else. Who was that? Sandra, Sample. Hey, Grand Awakening. What's going on, sister? So we're going to start with George Jones, An Original History of Ancient America. You already see, they said it was Negroes. It's already been put out there. Anybody remember the year? This was printed in 1843. Now, the individual was a Mason. I don't think that it was Freemason. He belonged to that snake and dragon order. George Jones, RSI MFSB, and you can look that up. And the funny thing about it says dedicated to His Grace the Archbishop of Canterbury, so he's from England, supposedly. Anybody know about Jack the Ripper? Okay, and it has come to be found out that Jack the Ripper may have came from America by way of Illinois or New York. Originally from over there, went back, and while over there studies or teaching, did his usual, because we had the same thing happen over here in those two places. It's believed to have been a doctor that I believe was captured. I got to look back into it. It's pretty old. So let's go ahead and get into this, okay? And this is the original history, supposedly. This is, of ancient America. Book 1, Chicago, Illinois. Okay. All right, we're over here, okay? And where we last left off was, from their forest life, reach at least 80 years before old age compels them to see their shadows as they walk. All right. Remember when I told you they were a dark, heavy, swarthy complexion. And if you know what swarthy or brunette means, you know they were very dark. There's only a couple of Navajos that are dark, but they're sunburnt. This is not the case with these individuals. All right. But the light red tint, maybe, but the original of the sunburnt features of the Aborigines. That was because there were shades. And people have a hard time dealing with that because a lot of drawings that I've witnessed or been a witness to, and then when you read under the text, it would tell you many different shades, but they all look very, very dark. And you obviously see that they were afros on their heads. As it stated earlier, that we were the scalpers. When they made us believe the French did the scalping, we scalped the dead. That was more Hebraic as the Scythians of Tartan. But we also know that it was in their, whoever was leading them was to destroy the Republic of Tartary, or you wouldn't have the Republic down by Brazil, or the antiquities of so-called in Mexico, which a lot of people now, by the reading, there's 3 books that have this. The word Mexico is a made-up word. There isn't even no origin to it. It just was something they just said, let's call it Mexico. Maybe it was because of what was the the Incan emperor? Why is it that we're the only ones with relatives in our families, females, who are named Inca? No, seriously. We are the only ones. I've met 12 in my lifetime, and 4 of them I met when I was in the military. My aunt Inca. I met friends who had aunties or grandmas who were named Inca. I never met no pale skin family, no Mongolian, or no Spanish family. Every one of them has been dark, Asiatic kind of eyes, kind of big mama-esque. Haven't seen it nowhere, and I've been all over our earth. All right, and I've been to South America. I've been all over before the CIA created the despot of stupidity we see going there, as they did everywhere else. So let's get into this. The words of the good friend William Penn may be given as a peculiar and powerful authority. After his first and celebrated interview with the northern natives, he wrote to England the following sentences in reference to them. I found them with like consonants of the Hebrew race, and their children of so lively a resemblance to them. And at this and no other time did the thought of their being of the lost tribes of Israel enter his imagination, Mr. William Penn. The sentences, therefore, are of great importance from the fact that they were not originally written by him to support any theory in reference to the Aborigines, but merely asserted in his letter from a strong impression of apparent truth, and which fact to the founder of Pennsylvania was the subject of astonishment. And there it rested, for to him were they Hebrew or Gentile. His kind and philanthropic heart taught him to view them as a branch of the human family, and that to him was sufficient. For forming a bond of amity, his memory is cherished by the Aborigines to this day. As the good friend, the reader may remember the historical painting by West of his celebrated interview, and it is worthy of the subject represented. Let's see if I can pull that up. I didn't. I could have prepped for this and all. I didn't. I just came back. Let's see if I can pull some up. I know it's going to take less than a minute for this thing to load all the way across. It's been doing that lately. I guess because I got thousands of tabs open, which I don't care. Let's go ahead and type in some keywords first. Okay. Excuse me. The good friend. Yeah, I'll put it in like that. Was that of this celebrated interview? Let's see if it pulls anything up. I kind of. It is worthy of the. Let me see. Excuse me. It is worthy. I skipped a page. Let me see what it says. It is worthy. So 2 pages. It is worthy, and make sure you. How many pages did I skip? No, it is worthy of the subject representative. The bold style and metaphorical character of their oratory is essentially Hebrew. Let me see what we can pull up here. Some of y'all might have pulled something up, I don't know. Michelangelo Bonorito. Well, that's definitely got Negroes on it. I'm not lying. That's weird looking. See the little baby with the afro? Hold on. Let's go back. Let me make sure I get the right one. All. Relax. Gutenberg ebook of the history of ancient America. All right. Let me see if I can enlarge this. Holy smack. All right. Let me I'm afraid if I download it, it'd probably give me a little tiny picture. Let me see if I can download it. I'm tired. I really don't want to download stuff. So, history of New Zealand paintings. Holy smack. Dude, I've got some new pictures to go over here, y'all. Even the painting of Hercules. Roman copy, Greek sculpture, $1,010. I'm serious, y'all. It's not like I didn't know. I just want to be a little, And then when you look at New Zealand today, right? Where did the Afros go? And the fact that they look like Australians. A bunch of Asians playing us now. And they do it they do it very foolishly, sadly. Which is sickening, actually. Right. So I wanna see if I can actually save that. Let me see what it looks like, if it's big enough where I can actually share it, guys. Oh, I might be able to. Okay. We have Poseidon, and in the ocean, with horses and a cherubim above, you see a friggin' Negro. Now the female, it's the backside. I can't tell by the hair, but yeah, you can pull a picture up yourself. And I can't enlarge it, this one. I don't know why it's not allowing me to. That's a little bit. Not a lot. I used to be able. What is going on? Why is it can't me see? Why is it not allowing me to launch? Allow me to launch this thing. Unsupported. When this. Anyway, yeah. You can pull it up yourself and see it for yourself. Okay. We already know what they did with a certain chief, Cherokee chief. They took the original drawing, and they made him look like that, and then they made him look like that. I mean, the perversions with these things is just unbelievable. So, let's go ahead and get back to reading. I won't be too long. My apologies. The bold style and metaphorical character of their oratory is to illustrate. Didn't look like no Jews, all right? So remember that of today. Illustrate their eloquent will be found in the historical tragedy of we already know about Tecumseh. I'm not pronouncing the right name right, but I have a picture of him. I know in here. Let me just type and see if it pulls it up. I want to make sure. Just let me be as quick as possible, I guess. Go to the page, right? And we know that they changed him all the way through and just made him just the goofiest looking thing. From the original picture, they Mongoloid him to a point where you just can't stop the Mongolian, which is an utter disrespect. Because you gotta remember, they don't care anyway. Look at what they're doing now. If they cared, they know how to keep division, and you would think that the people would know better, right? in this picture, right, what you'll realize in one of the historical original drawings, which is funny because if you look at any other drawing of so-called other pale skins at the time who was pretty much known to be, you will see that they didn't do what they've done as far as the change from this original picture. So, tell me what we have here, people, and why would they draw with that much shade? There's no Asiat, no Mongolian eyes or nothing. Now, it is well known that Tecumseh, I believe, did have some French or something. I don't know. I forget. I got to go back and look at it. Mixed into the family. But it was all nigger. I think it was Dutch, if I remember right. Yeah, it's all Negro. All right? But you know what they do, right? Let me come out of my... Let me get out of there. All right? That's all the downloads of my albums. And... do you see what they've done? Hold on. That's not even the one I want you to see. I want you to see this crap. And this is going to be nothing but pure grade crap. I'm going to show that one. They're beyond comprehensive. These bastards are something else. That's Alamy. You could go and visit that and pull it up for yourself. And then this one right here just cracks me up. They've done the best they can. And we know that is not his brows. We know that's not his eyes. And then they attempt to keep him as close to original as best they can with the lightening of features by adding color. And then where's the other one at? Oh my goodness. Now this one is out of Britannica. All right. Now I'll show you the one out of Britannica, but I want to find that other one. The sickness of these individuals is beyond. Now here they've changed the eyes. They've given it a more Hollywood narrative. You know, they got to instill, they got the, the bullshit, anyway, excuse my language, bull crap. And then what's another one that is, because artists, you know how NASA has faked everybody into believing the lies they have, right? All right, so Tecumseh of the Shawnees, right, Chief? This one is just a straight up a disease of a portrait, and that ain't even a portrait, not even, that's a redraw, And this is what cracks me up about the individuals that want to argue and be all funky and nasty with their little racist foreign ideology. They have a hard time going to the truth. Not one picture of him of origin other than this one right here. And some people will sit there going, yeah, but it was black and white pen. Wait a minute. You could take the time yourself and go pull up some pictures of pale skins and around 1869, black and white, 1899, black and white pictures of Native Americans and go and look at some of them. Hell, there's even photos. Stop the nonsense. Anyway, the undaunted and chivalric personal courage is the very counterpart of that evinced upon the plains of Jericho, or in after times before the walls of Jerusalem. Then their godlike love of perfect freedom, the spirit of Jeroboam, did not die in the first rebellion and victory against tyranny. It lives in his nation's descendants in the north. At invasions or encroachments, they rise as one man to crush the oppressor, and which fact every record from the Pilgrim Fathers to the present day will testify in all their battles. And their name is Legion. Our name was Legion. You see how they created diversity. They divided us. They made you believe in some demons. We were the ones, remember Pocahontas' father? What was that put his name? Hawanashak? Anyway, it says, and he came with, 200 more black devils like him. We're a legion. See, if you don't read, how will you know the truth? It's all over. They have a dispute. They have disputed the ground and inch by inch, and even their women have fought and fallen in their ranks. Every chief was a Judas Maccabeus or an Eleazar Savarin. Now, and let me look that up for y'all. I know some of y'all don't read the Bible. Y'all done listening to them on goofy niggas in the indigenous movement. There is no God, no space captain, because they're hurt because somebody died in their family, whatever. We don't have time for that, and that's why I don't get into this stuff with them, because they wouldn't be able to handle the information that I have. But I want y'all to be aware of some of the things that escape a lot of you, because you have been misled by so many, and instead of being guided to read certain things, they don't know how to bring that to fruition because their ignorance. And what is it, Severa, right? A-N, I believe, right? Let me see, is that a spell right? What does it say? No, they got Aberrant. But see, okay, here we go. When Eleazar Aberrant saw that one of the elephants was larger than the others and that it was covered with royal armor. He thought, let me read this to you real quick so we can move on. When Eleazar Aberrant saw that one of the elephants was larger than the others and that it was covered with royal armor, he thought that the king was riding on it. Eleazar sacrificed his life to save his people and to gain eternal fame. He ran boldly toward the elephant, which was in the middle of a battalion of infantry. He rushed forward, killing men to the right and left, so that the enemy soldiers fell back before him on both sides. He slipped in under the elephant and stabbed it to death, and it fell on him and killed him. Do you even grasp when I tell you what we're capable of? As far as the picture, they got them. They're very, very small. And of course, they're gonna make them look like a pasty. We don't want that. We don't want the nonsense. We don't want the BS of the Zionist narrative of foolishness and plain old effatry. Doing your turkey. These are all recent drawings around early 1900s. So 1900s, yep. Yeah, so you know what? Obviously they've got to script in a pure fabricated lie. You want me to show you how and why? First of all, let me show you a picture of what they wanted to paint as. Let me visit and make sure the year. I'm just doing this for all of our sakes, okay? All right. The year. Okay. Yeah. It's all frugal and fraggle. It's this right here. Yeah, it's more Russo, this picture. But I want to show you it anyway. And it's 1900s. This is what they painted. Now, they look like somebody that ran the battle, killing men on the left and right, and then went up on an elephant and killed it and died on top of them. Now, it looks like some old raggedy fake pope doing some Masonic hand signals for those who know hand signals. And this is what I mean about their dilemma and how it's coming back to bite them. It's gonna bite them in ways that are beyond comparison. Their lies are beyond rationale. This one right here has a very sickly face on it. More Turks or Mongol like. Has nothing to do with the truth. Can we find the truth? I doubt it. As far as a true depiction, no. Not at all. Not at all. The drawings, even the most oldest, which are around the like 1900s, are the most vile and sick. Anyway, let's go forth, okay? Now, in every physical characteristics of the Northern did the Mexican differ. They bore no analogy as being of the same race, either in feature, courage, endurance, or general religion. Now, when was this written? When was this written? Remember, 1843. You got to remember that, because then we know that in 1830, the Spanish came up on the shores of California. Okay, they had to hide that too, and it's been hard for them to keep that hidden. Anyway, they bore no analogy as being of the same race, either in feature, courage, endurance, or general religion. In Mexican America, Cortez, with only 500 Spanish soldiers and those worn and dispirited, drove 50,000 Mexicans from the field of Otumba. Now we know it wasn't called Mexico. Remember early on, it says we just made that name up. That's the reality. So when somebody comes to me talking about Mexican, I'm like, you just walking around with a made-up word, huh? Okay. They fled like snowflakes, and just imagine the history to teach that bull. That's sad. They fled like snowflakes before the wind when their standard was seized by a Spaniard. But in the north, the fight was man to man, and no retreat, death, or victory. Jerusalem or the grave. All right? Loudly. Every chieftain of the north, even upon the supposition of flight from a superior foe, either in number or prowess, may be imagined to have uttered the last words of Judas Maccabeus. When in his final battle he was opposed by 20 times his own force. God forbid that I should do this thing and flee from them. If our time be come, let us die manfully for our brethren and not stain our honor. I would love to see brothers and sisters carry that mantle right now, but we got a bunch of, you saw the post I put up there, a bunch of kitty cats. Some of the Mexican nations worshiped idols and knew not God, for they sacrificed human beings to propitiate their savage deities. Not so the noble Northerns. They worshiped the one God who declared to the first lawgiver, "Thou shalt have no other God before me." But I just detest that word God. Not the narrative or the truth of what? The supplication of the truth, but I just know it means us. And their only human sacrifice is the invader of their lands in birthright. You think they was going to teach this in school? There wouldn't be no schools nowhere. It wouldn't be this government, this fraudulent government. The only two analogies that existed between the North and Mexican America, and which might apparently destroy or prevent the proof of this theory, are first, circumcision, and second, the similitude of language. In the North, circumcision, as we have shown, is a religious custom only, all right? And in the Mexican territories, it was both optional and religious. This strange and apparent stumbling block in the way of proving that they are of a different race will be removed as we proceed. For so far from injuring the proofs of the theory, it absolutely supports them, as does also the analogy and language. So they are our kinfolk. No, not all the foreigners that are playing so-called Mexican, because there's a lot down there playing Mexican. There's Arabs, there's Moors, there's there's Asians who enslaved and brought there who refused to fight. And there are lots of them. They even dug underground. Anyway, these important points is, and we're not talking about the Asians of today are not the ones of ancient. You know, circumcision and language will be met in their respective places and in an original manner of application, for they form two of the most substantial evidences and were the primitive causes for our belief in the subject contemplated by his work. Wow. And especially in reference to that portion having Christianity for its basis. We know that Christianity is bullshit. Brought when? Who remembers when I showed and I taught when it was brought here? And the reversal of what of truth was. I'm not going to keep explaining King James. And then, because you got to remember, it came up on our shores in the friggin' 1800s. I once was taught 1700s when I did the research with the information given that I was privy to and what I learned in Scotland and what I learned in was it Deerdorf? Where is it? Deerdorf, England? What's the place called? Well, anyway, I learned that at one of the castles, and I was like, oh, so that, Italy, nothing but lying, some bitch. No one couldn't tell the truth. They were running with that 1400 nonsense anyway, which is pure, just radicalized bullcrap. But it was around, like I said, 1830, 18. Anyway, Frederick Douglass was the one that talked about it when it showed up. So you do the math. Okay. Anyway, as as an essential contrast between the Aborigines is the fact that in the North they have, in parentheses, estates, as already stated, no tradition of the crucifixion, while in the other portion of the continent, in parentheses, estates, and for centuries before the rediscovery by Columbus, which he didn't discover nothing, they had a perfect knowledge of every particular of the life and death of Christ. I told you it was not this mother sucker you see now. And I expressed to you what he looked like early on. And I told you, if you want to see the joke of him in France, who supposedly made the fake Statue of Liberty, Notre Dame, ringing the bells, one eye, face only a mother could love. Very short. Anyway, in this part, again, in this part of the continent, there are stone architectural ruins. In the north, there are none, but we have Ankh down there. They didn't have no damn crucifix. They possess there but embankments, Marathonian mounds of tumuli, and these undeniable and characteristic opposites in northern and Mexican America, increased by the late discovery of the ruined cities of Guatemala and the adjacent provinces, together with 15 years of personal observation in America, to which may be added a practical knowledge of the fine arts, enthusiasm in research, and mature reflection upon the entire subject, have authorized the formation of, as we believe, an original theory concerning the history of the Aborigines of the two great divisions of the Western Hemisphere, and for the unfolding of the present volume, we state that they consist of two distinct races or people. This will be without doubt omitted from the facts in the previous pages, and two, that the South America, nationally speaking, included what is at present called Central America, and as consequence, the ancient cities now in ruins belong to the same general empire. Now, I told you that South America was down in Brazil. I know people have a hard time with that, but it was. It's on the map in that old ass book from 1939 and other pictures I've seen. Yeah, that's right. Mexico's a made up word. I tell you, all in North America, that was part of it. People have a hard time dealing with that. But in Brazil, the Negroes there, and that's why the Portuguese, part of the whole, tell them let's go and kill off the Aborigines, went there, and the Favelas, over 1.8 million people there, and they're still running around because of the drugs created by the governments put out there, making sure that the Aborigines couldn't farm this, that, and other, and be part of their culture to do this distraction for other things and purposes. Okay. Number 3, that South, or, in parentheses, as we have termed it in the preceding pages, Mexican America, was inhabited anterior to that of the North. Number 4, that the Aborigines of Mexican America and the West Indian Islands were the ancient Tyrians of Phoenicia, and that they landed on the Western continent from their native country more than 2,000 years ago. This is confirmed by tradition, analogies, history, and prophecy. Now, if you know about the Phoenicians, and we know about Canary and all the other islands, Antigua, everywhere, Cuba, it was all Negroes. I'm not saying South America, but they were just a different lot, and we were part of it. It was, even though we stayed to ourselves. What did I say about the Ashkenazis from Gomer? How many children did Gomer have? Think about it. Would they conspire together of ancient to seek a position never meant for theirs, to fight the creator because they're jealous and envious? You've got to mitigate different terms of narratives when it's unnecessary. Everybody could have been well off. Do you see what I'm saying when I say the 7 sins and the 7 virtues? Okay. Reasoning upon the causes that have led to the new historical theory and the conclusions arising therefrom, a new chronological or epochian, epoch-like table, okay, that's what the hell it means, as a necessity is required for the history of the Western Hemisphere and its inhabitants, at least to the time of Columbus. Now, we know that this is the East. We know that this was Asia Superior. So you got to remember this is 19 what? Okay. Not desiring, however, and this guy's a Mason, so he's got to do his part in a very lower form. Not desiring, however, to anticipate any interest derivable from the investigation of this work, the progressive epochs will be given in the volumes devoted to the illustrations. Now, the present volume contemplates the first epoch only, and is announced in the following page, and the reader will do himself but justice. Now, in parentheses, apart from the author, and by not rejecting the startling theory until, at least, the proofs and arguments have been received and analyzed, upon which investigation the writer will submit with all humility to the decision of the public. To the public. Funny how they removed the republic. Anyway, and of their all-powerful champion, the press. They make the press all-powerful. You got to pay attention. Why? Their champion, our champion. Now, chapter 3 we'll go ahead and get into tomorrow, but it's the first epoch, the Tyrian era before Christ, 332 years. The landing in Mexican, i.e. Central America, of the ancient Tyrians of Phoenicia, and the building of the cities, temples, and pyramids, the ruins of which have lately been discovered. And we in the know those are millennia old. So somebody would say, well, that's 333. Yeah, no, millennia don't mean 1,000 or 2,000 years, people. Stop being so gullible. Like they knew. They didn't even have carbon dating. So come on. Be wiser. This is another Mason. Part of rewriting some kind of history while at the same time at that period alluding to certain facts that most of our people don't even know because they're too damn caught up listening to idiots who haven't read nothing, haven't studied nothing, don't know nothing. Just a bunch of emotions and feelings. Now here we go with Arthur Kessler, the 13th Tribe. I know it sounds like I'm bashing people, right? In a sense I am, but it's not what I'm doing. I'm telling people to stop being so stoic in their stupidity. All right, number 3. This is going to be number 3, the decline. It was wrote D. Sonor in the second half of the 8th century that the Khazar Empire reached the acme of its glory. That it is between the conversion of Bulan and the religious reform under Obadiah. This is not meant to imply that the Khazars owed their good fortune to their Jewish religion. It is rather the other way around. They could afford to be used because they were economically and militarily strong. A living symbol of their power was the Emperor Leo the Khazar, who ruled Byzantium in 775 to 780, so named after his mother, the Khazar princess, Flower, and the one who created a new fashion at the court. We remember that her marriage took place shortly after the great Khazar victory over the Muslims in the Battle of Ardabil, which is mentioned in the letter of Joseph and other sources. In the two events, Dunlop remarks, are hardly unrelated. However, amidst the cloak and dagger intrigues of the period, dynastic marriages and betrothals, could be dangerous. They repeatedly gave cause, or at least provided a pretext for starting a war, and the pattern was apparently set by Attila, the Eastwal overlord of the Khazars, the Hun. In 450, Attila is said to have received a message accompanied by an engagement ring from Honoria, sister of the West Roman Emperor Valentinian III. This romantic and ambitious lady begged the Hun chieftain to rescue her from a fate worse than death. A forced marriage to an old senator and sent him her ring. Attila, the Hun, promptly claimed her as his bride, and together with half the empire as her dowry. And when Valentinian refused, Attila invaded Gaul. Several variations of this quasi-archetypal theme crop up throughout Khazar history. We remember the fury of the Bulgar king about the abduction of his daughter, and how he gave his incident as the main reason for his demand that the caliph should build him a fortress against the Khazars. If we are to believe the Arab sources, similar incidents, though with a different twist and parenthesis, led to the last flare up of the Khazar Muslim wars at the end of the 8th century after a protracted period of peace. Whoa. According to Al-Tabari, in AD 798, the Caliph ordered the governor of Armenia to make the Khazar frontier even more secure by martyring a daughter of the Khagan. This governor was a member of the powerful family of the Barmecides, which incidentally reminds one of the prince of that eponymous family in the Arabian Nights, who invited the beggar to a feast consisting of rich dish covers with nothing beneath for the slaughter, in parentheses. The Barmecide agreed, and the Khazar princess with her suit, and dowry was duly dispatched to him in a luxurious cavalcade. But she died in childhood. The newborn died too, and her courtiers, on their return to Khazaria, insinuated to the Khagan that she had been poisoned. The Khagan promptly invaded Armenia and took, now this is in parentheses, according to 2 Arab sources, 50,000 prisoners, and the Caliph was forced to release thousands of criminals from his gaols and arm them to stem the Khazar advance. The Arab sources relate at least one more 8th century incident of a misfired dynastic marriage followed by a Khazar invasion, and for good measure, the Georgian Chronicle has a particularly gruesome one to add to the list. Now, in parentheses, it states in which the royal princess, instead of being poisoned, kills herself to escape the Khagan's bat. The details and exact dates are, as usual, doubtful, and so is the real motivation behind these campaigns, but the recurrent mention in the chronicles are bartered brides, all right, and poisoned queens, leaves little doubt that this theme had a powerful impact on people's imagination and possibly also on political events. Holy smack! These mother suckers, man. And you see what they're doing right now. Oh boy, behold the pale horse. Now I'm just going to read this very small portion of this. I'm hungry and I want to set up and get this open mic set up. Black Hawk Moving, veteran owned. That's what's up. That's what I like to see. Okay, all right, so this is Behold the Pale Horse by William Cooper. Namaste, obviously namaste. And when we last dropped off, we was right at the bringer of light. The bringer of light, or the morning star, after Osiris was gone from the sky. The ancients saw the sun as a representation of Osiris, or more correctly, Lucifer. And we know the sun is feminine, right? You know that perversion of Baphomet. Breast, penis, as above, as below, blah, blah, blah. The perversion, the inversion. Okay. Osiris was represented by the sun. Albert Pike. I'm going to read these books again. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. It is claimed that after Lucifer fell from heaven, he brought with him the power of thinking as a gift for mankind. That's Fred Gettings, Secret Symbolism in Occult Art. Leave this shit alone because it's poison. Don't even try and figure it out if you don't have knowledge of it to make it right. Don't even bother with it. Too many idiots are doing that, though. Most of the greatest minds that ever lived were initiated into the society of mysteries by secret and dangerous rites, some of which were very cruel. Some of the most famous were known as Osiris, Isis, Sabazius, I can't let the other thing go here. Hold on, guys. Okay. All right. Let's go and get the. Yeah, I like that background music. It's good. Yeah, just good. Yeah. Anyway, Sebel and Eleusis. Plato was one of these initiates, and he describes some of the mysteries in his writings. Plato's initiation encompassed 3 days of entombment in the Great Pyramid, during which time he died, symbolically, was reborn, and was given secrets that he was to preserve. Plato's writings are full of information on the mysteries, and Manly P. Hall stated in his book, and I've listened to everything about every one of his, it's awesome, informative. But there's some things that are a little questionable. Stated in his book, The Secret Teaching of All Ages, that that illumined of antiquity entered its, in brackets, pyramids of Giza, in brackets, portals as men, they came forth as gods. The ancient Egyptian word for pyramid was kuti, which meant glorious light. Mr. Hall says also the pyramids, the great Egyptian temples of initiation. Okay? According to many, the Great Pyramids were built to commemorate and observe a supernova explosion that occurred in the year 4000 BC. And Dr. Antoine Hewish, 1974 Nobel Prize winner in physics, discovered a rhythmic series of radio pulses which he proved were emissions from a star that had exploded around 4000 BC. The Freemasons began their calendar from, don't believe all that crap right there, okay? Trust me, it's something else. The Freemasons began their calendar from AL in the year of light, found by adding 4,000 to the modern year. Thus, 1990 equals 4,000. 1990 plus 4,000, equals 5,990 in the year of light, AL. George Makanowski wrote in The Once and Future Star that the ancient Sumerian cuneiform described a giant star exploding within a triangle formed by Zeta Puppis, Gamma Verum, and Lambda Verum, located in the southern sky. Don't believe that. In brackets, and accurate star catalog now stated that the blazing star that had exploded, he's breaking it down, that's all, star that had exploded when their beliefs exploded within the triangle would again be seen by man in 6,000 years. According to the Freemasons' calendar, it will occur in the year 2000, and indeed it will. The spacecraft called Galileo is on its way to Jupiter, a baby star with a gaseous makeup exactly the same as our sun, with a load of 49.7 pounds of plutonium, supposedly being used as batteries to power the craft. When its final orbit decays in December 1999, Galileo will deliver its payload into the center of Jupiter. The unbelievable pressure that will be encountered will cause a reaction exactly as it occurs when an atomic bomb is exploded by an impulsion detonator. The plutonium will explode in an atomic reaction, lighting the hydrogen and helium atmosphere of Jupiter and resulting in the birth of the star that has already been named Lucifer. The word will interpret it as a sign of tremendous religious significance. Now, this is for the Masonic motherfuckers. It will fulfill prophecy. In reality, it is only a demonstration of the insane application of technology by the adjacent society. That's all it is. Which may or may not even work. See, he's gonna come around and break it down. They have practiced overkill to ensure success, however, as the documents that I read while in naval intelligence stated that Project Galileo required only 5 pounds of plutonium to ignite Jupiter and possibly stave off the coming ice age. Global warming is a hoax. It is easier for the public to deal with and will give the ruling elite more time before panic and anarchy replace government. The reality is that overall global temperatures are becoming lower. Storms are becoming more violent and less predictable, and the ice caps at the poles are growing larger. The temperate zones where food can be grown are shrinking, and des- desertification desert desertification is increasing in the tropics. An ice age is on its way, and it will occur suddenly. So he was going based on his knowledge, believing the Earth is round, space is round, and so on and so on. You gotta be aware of this. And also in the military, everything that you read and you study, a lot of it's a lie, and you don't know if you're talking about it because they know the truth. So it's not so much that, and William's quiet about anything. It's going from the knowledge of his, what he Vietnam vet and everything else in the military working for the government. Anyway, simultaneously, a vault containing the ancient records of the earth will be opened in Egypt, and the return of Lucifer and the opening of the vault will usher in the millennium. A great celebration has already been planned by the Millennium Society to take place at the pyramids in Egypt. According to the January 3rd, 1989 edition of the Arizona Daily Star, President-elect Bush is spending this New Year's holiday at Camp David, Maryland, but in 10 years he may be in Egypt. Organizers of the Millennium Society say he's already committed to ushering in the next century at the Great Pyramid of Cheops in Giza. The first secret that one must know to even begin to understand the mysteries is that their members believe that there are but few truly mature minds in the world. They believe that those minds belong exclusively to them. The philosophy that follows is the classic secret society view of humanity. When a person of strong intellect is confronted with a problem that calls for the use of reasoning faculties, they keep their poise and attempt to reach a solution by garnering facts bearing on the question. That is, on the other hand, those who are immature when confronted by the same problem are overwhelmed. While the former may be said to be qualified to solve the mystery of their own destiny, the latter must be led like a bunch of animals and taught in the simplest language like sheep. They are totally dependent on the shepherd. The able intellect is taught the mysteries and the esoteric spiritual truths. Now the masses are taught the literal esoteric interpretations. While the masses worship the five senses, the select few observe, recognizing in the gulf between them the symbolic concentrations of great abstract truths. The initiated elect communicate directly to gods, aliens, who communicate back to them, and the masses sacrifice their lambs on an altar facing a stone idol that can neither hear nor speak. And the elect are given knowledge of the mysteries and are illuminated and are thus known as the Illuminati or the Illuminated Ones, and the guardians of the secrets of the ages. Damn. Damn. That's enough right there. Damn. I'm saying that just to add a little drama to it. But anyway, I'm going to give a shout out. I'm going to go ahead and make my food and get the podcast thing set up. And I appreciate everybody that came and check it out and pay attention and hear the reading. Because you're not going to get nothing. You'd be surprised. We all grow up, right? And people our age, your age. And just like us, we have people who will betray you that we grew up with, went to school with, and everything, just like you have people out in the government everywhere else. You have sleepers who have been nurtured without your vision or you being there, and they have nurtured them to be the perversions. And because to you, they look at you as nothing. Because they don't even know your truth. They only know the truth that they've been acquainted with and nurtured in. This is something you need to pay attention to, people. Now, is there something else out there? Of course. Yeah. Out there doesn't mean up or down. It's just, no, there's something else. That's all. And to them, y'all are weak. You're not formidable. They got everybody divided, inconsistent, paying attention to fools, listening to a bunch of stuff that never get anything accomplished or done. have most people sitting there with a thumb up their butt, like, hey, what do we do now, with no true aspirations to pick up the mantle and carry it through or forward. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna get some shout outs. I'm hungry. Not starving, hungry, because I know I got to put something in this body of mine. It's got to be very, very healthy. No sugar, very little salt. I do like my sodium, though. Don't get it twisted. Healthy sodium. And we'll go ahead and take it from there. Otherwise, I'll be done laid down. I'll be done went to sleep. I ain't lying, y'all. Ain't nothing like a good ass rest. You hear me? Ain't nothing like it. Nothing. You know? All right, Sandra, I got you already. Evan Smiley, hey, all right. Mikey Hill, what's going on? Sue, Rondo, what's going on, beloved girl? Hey, Sue, I thought you know you could be. You was off today, right? Rondo, what's going on, family? Yes. Equator 7, what's cracking? I like that. Sandra Sumter, what's happening? Blessings. Navi, what's up, baby girl? So anyway, I'm going ahead and make me some of these tacos. I don't know. I might come up here and eat them and then go down there. You know, like I said, what time? Oh, I don't know. The clock. I think I'm downstairs. What time is it? It's 4:28. By the time I get done cooking everything, hopefully everybody's situated and comfortable and everything. And yeah, I'll let you know what it's going to be about. And I believe that everybody's going to have something to say. And I think every time anybody talks about something, I think it's very important. And I think this is going to be a good one. I'm going to do my best to keep it on track, because this is something that is not really new, but the division, the divisiveness, that is what we need to pay attention to, because, wow, we are so divided. All right? You know, like my nose hairs? I don't need no damn mask. Anyway, I'm going to holler at y'all in a little bit, okay? I'm hungry. Them tacos are going to be good. Oh, and I'm not using, you know what I'm using? No lettuce and tomatoes. I'm using, let me show y'all. Come on, man. Let me go down here and get this thing rocking and rolling, man. Pump the dumb stuff. I don't want that. I don't need that. All right. I should put some Chinese slippers on. I might have broke a bone, I told you, honestly, but it's not bruised up. Yeah, I know, I hear you. You ready? So, let me show you. My tacos. So, this is what I'm going to use for my tacos. Let me get room temperature. Let me take it out. My onions chopped up. That and my red onion. Oh, this is going to be banging. I got the meat. I already got enough meat, so I think I'm going to cut up a little cabbage too. And that is enough for that's enough for 3. So I'm going to have just 3 bangers with some avocado. You know? Yeah. You see? It's organic. It's supposed to be organic. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to... Yeah, it says organic. But is it? Well, you know how that goes. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not putting no cheese, no nothing. It's going to be that hot, spicy ass kimchi, and it's going to be a banger. Yeah, I got some 1 gram of sugar, salt, organic flour tortillas. It's not stripped, so it's close to wheat, but it's real good with a little semolina and masa. So I'm going to heat a few of these up. And let me go ahead and get to whipping it up right now. And I'm not doing no cooking on which card. I'm about to make these things up. Sit down, listen to some music, snack them up, and then get ready for this podcast, all right? So you already know, all right? Love you ladies, my brothers, you already know. I'm starving.